So today's agenda is foundations of AI, sub areas of AI, applications of AI. So as part of our syllabus, these are the topics which we need to cover in today's session. So starting with foundations of AI. So whatever we have discussed previously, all these things are part of these foundations of AI. So initially we have discussed about the introductory parts of your artificial intelligence. So later I have discussed about what is the history, how AI has come into market, and what are the different revolutionary things happened, what are the innovations which have been done. So as part of that, I have also mentioned that what are the prerequisites we need to have if you want to learn AI properly. So the foundations again reveals the same thing. So we need to discuss about what are the core areas of AI which will be useful for any application development or a product development with respect to AI. So what are the basic foundations we need to have? So if I say I am good at artificial intelligence, so when can I say that I am good at artificial intelligence? It's not only that if I know Python as a CS student, I cannot say that I am good at AI, because AI is a multidisciplinary area where you need to work with a group of people of different branches. So as a computer science guy, I may just write a program for any logic and any logic for any task, right? But definitely if you want to create a product, you need to have a team which will be giving you a lot of inputs with respect to programming also. Yeah. So artificial intelligence is automation of activity. So the name automation is here very important. So if you're automating anything, you need to have a lot of things in your mind. It's not only programming which helps us every time. It's a logical calculations, a complex problem solutions. So there are n number of things which will be forming the core of your core foundations of your artificial intelligence. So the automation of activities we normally attribute to human thinking and rationality. So yeah, so as discussed in the previous sessions, human thinking is something we need to train to the system what we're going to develop. That's what we call it as intelligence in yesterday's class. So such as problem solving, decision making, and learning. So if you want to do all these type of things, or if you want to make your system work properly, you need to equip with all these things. So the basic foundations what we need to enhance ourselves, and also what we need to give input to the machine are mathematics, as already said, a prerequisite, neuroscience, to understand how communication can be made faster, because neurons actually communicate. It's a part of our brain, and if you understand the analogy of how a neuron is working, then only you can just make some innovations with respect to speed. So previously there are a lot of innovations, a lot of machines are available, algorithms are available, but uh, because of the current requirement, we need to enhance the speed of those things. So for that, how I can do that? What are the different techniques I need to empower? So these all things are very essential. And yesterday I said linguistics is something like Google Translation, because a product should be launched in n number of languages. It's not only English or Telugu or some other language. A product once developed need to work with n number of uh, languages. So now language also is something which is a very important part of your communication. So which will be part of your natural language processing. So these all things we will discuss in the today's class. So whenever in examinations, if a question something like being asked like what are the different foundations you need to have if you want to design an application with AI, so you can write all these things. Okay. Nice. So moving on, we'll just have a brief explanation about what are the basic foundations which we need to empower if you want to work with a multidisciplinary team. So here you can see some 6 steps, a small explanation about what it is. So initially, it's in the research, it's being said that if you want to be good at AI, if you want to empower yourself in AI, you need to have a light or like all these things. Like you need to have an understanding of what is the philosophy, like where does knowledge come from. So yesterday's session I said that if you want to train a machine and add intelligence to that, you need to have definitely empower input some knowledge to that. So if you want to give some inputs with respect to the societal needs or with respect to any requirement of any organization, you need to first have a brief understanding of that, then only all these things will be possible. So that's the reason initially you need to understand what is the knowledge I need to give to the intelligent machine. So how should I acquire the knowledge? So definitely if you are 100% fit only, then only we can train the machine, right? Because machine doesn't have its own thinking power. It only works according to the inputs given by us. So initially you need to understand very precisely and very clearly what are the things necessary to train to an algorithm or a machine. That's why philosophy is one area which is very important as part of our research if you want to work with your AI. Next, linguistics, that how does language relate to thought. So definitely, as a system computer, it understands only binary language, so you need to write a program for that, so that it automatically does our works. In the same manner, however you're writing a program to a machine, you need to make it understand that it's not only one way we need to get an output. If I ask input, it need to give me outputs in n number of ways. That is the actual task which need to be developed. So for that, linguistics plays a very important role. That is one important foundation we need to learn. So as I said, now again, next one, neuroscience. So if you want to understand how fast communication happens, suppose if I say I am opening my Facebook or Instagram, and I am just scrolling my page. So there are a lot of things happening when I do it, right? So there are sort of recommendations, there are some sort of ads, there are some sort of videos. So everything is happening in a very short span of time. So you need to understand how this can be done. So basically, in AI, neural networks and neuroscience plays a very important role. So here we need to understand how a brain processes information. In the same manner, a machine need to process information and give results effectively. And next one, moving on for next important foundation is behavioral economics to make your decisions to maximum utility. So definitely there are, as I said, there are a lot of innovations which are already available, but they might be lacking because of the speed or because of the improper results. So you need to make proper algorithms or some sort of products which can enhance the decision making skills to improvise the maximum utility, that everyone should be able to use that. Suppose if I say I am using YouTube for my videos, so there are n number of things which are which are parallel to YouTube, but most of us use YouTube because it is user friendly. It recommends us many things, and we can do a lot of stuff over there. So in the same manner, the utility of the product or the availability of the product should be in such a manner. So you need to understand what are the statistics with respect to the previous products, so how this can enhance the betterment for any decision making. And next, the core part, that is mathematics. So what are the calculations we need to give it this machine, so that to problem solving, like puzzles, like chess games. So there are a lot of games, so you need to give a lot of mathematical oriented knowledge to a machine. So that is one important foundation. So I can very easily say that mathematics plays a very key role in any of the field what you're going to choose in the upcoming years with respect to your AI. And definitely as a computer science student, we need to have a proper uh, programming knowledge, and also a proper understanding of the hardware systems also. So it's not only that you are going to write a software program, you need to also write a program for your hardware machines. Like as I said yesterday, AEC guy may approach you and ask you for help regarding some robots, right? So they may not be good at programs, so they might be having the idea of developing a robot. And if you want to add some intelligence to that, you need to understand the working of the hardware system also. So when I talk about computer science, it's not only about software programming, it's also about hardware programming also. You need to have a proper understanding of uh, compiler design, operating systems. All these parts are very important. That's why it's termed as computer science. It's not program, right? So we need to have understanding about every individual aspect of computer science if you want to be good at artificial intelligence. Okay. And the last line here states that these interdisciplinary roots help explain why AI has captured our imagination. So all these six aspects are very important if you want to develop any product, or if you want to make anything very clear with respect to AI. So all the innovations which may happen in the upcoming years uh, basically rely on these things. Okay, yeah. So moving on. So there's this one standard understanding that AI is the new electricity. So 100 years back, we didn't have any electricity, and at that time innovations were not possible because of there was no electricity and everything was under dark. But now we can say AI is throwing some light, that it is giving us chances to develop ourselves and transform from one thing to other. So just as 100 years ago electricity transformed industry, after now AI will be the same in the upcoming years. AI will be trying to give you chances with respect to n number of areas. So because it's a multidisciplinary area, it's not only confined to one or two places. So if you are having a deep knowledge on AI, so you can reinvent a lot of things. You can have a lot of what do you call innovations can happen. It can reduce the human burdens. Okay. Yeah, so this statement you need to keep in your mind whenever you are learning about your AI, so you can understand what is the importance of AI in the upcoming years. Yeah, so some components of AI program, like what are the basic things we need to keep in mind whenever I am going to learn an AI subject, or whenever I am going to develop an AI project. So what are the things I need to keep in my mind? AI techniques must be independent of the problem domain as far as possible, right? These three things are very important. That is the knowledge base, the navigation capability, and the inferencing. So whenever you're going to develop a product with respect to AI, or whenever you're going to develop an algorithm with respect to AI, you need to keep these three things in your mind. So what is the knowledge base? So yeah, so as I said in yesterday's session, you need to add some intelligence to the machine, or you need to add some intelligence to the algorithm. So if you want to add some intelligence, you need to acquire all the knowledge whatever it's necessary. So whenever you're going to understand or clearly about what is the task I want to make it to a machine, you need to give the same knowledge to a machine. So it can be a voluminous amount of data, it can be like a general thing, it is like it can change dynamically. So you need to provide all set of rules and protocols which will be useful for us in the upcoming years. So it's not like I will give some input later on. And also if you are using applications, so basically we get lot of updates, right? Suppose in a Play Store, if you are downloading any application, suppose if I take example of WhatsApp, so WhatsApp will try to give you updates in a meanwhile, right? So in a short of 15 or 1 month of time, every time WhatsApp will try to give some add on some features, and it will try to update ourselves, right? In the same manner, the knowledge whatever you are providing now might be sufficient for today's world, but you need to think for the next future also. You need to provide a knowledge to a machine such that it should also think about the future. So if that is possible, there should be we can update our algorithm, and there should be a scope for updation also. That is one important thing what you need to keep in your mind. And next, some control strategies, like what are the thumb rules which we need to follow. So definitely we cannot do anything with our own what you call we cannot do everything with our own knowledge, right? You need to have some research, some study. You need to understand what are the different protocols already applied. So how I should apply these protocols, because whenever you are going to design a product, you need to follow a proper structure, you need to follow the strategy. So in that strategy, you need to definitely look at the previous innovations, what are the rules they have applied. You need not to deviate that, you need to add on to that, try to make it better. So for that, what are the different navigational strategies you need to ensure? These all things are again very important. Yeah, so inferencing is something like concluding, right? So definitely when I add something, suppose if I say I am using a chatbot. So a chatbot is something like interface between a human being and a machine. So definitely when I give a query, a proper query, it will try to give me a proper solution. If you are going to provide an unnecessary or irrelevant query, it will just try to throw error, or it will try to give you answer that it's not possible with me. So like what are the things you can provide, a knowledge is provided, it will try to answer in the same manner. So inferencing requires search through knowledge base. So definitely what are the knowledge you have provided, it will try to search from that, and it will try to give you the same results. Okay, so these three things should be kept in mind whenever you are going whenever you are developing any product. So these are the three important components as part of your foundations. Okay, so that's about your foundations. That is the one topic which is being covered now. And the next topic is sub areas of AI. So these things already I have discussed in the previous in the introductory part. So whenever I have discussed about what is AI and why AI, what are the different areas which we need to concentrate with respect to AI. So I have said we are having some 5 to 6 areas which we need to look into if you want to understand AI completely. So as a computer science student, I may be good at machine learning, right? So because I'm going to work with data mining or different algorithms, I may be good at machine learning. So I might not be good at natural language processing. But if you want to develop a full-fledged product of AI, you need to import a lot of skill set in your mind, so that at the end you will be having a beautiful product. It's not that I'll try to learn only 1 or 2 things and I'll try to develop some good product. You need to have a lot of skills in your mind. Okay. Here you can see a Venn diagram, like a representation. If I take AI, what are the, here only 3 areas are uh, given, that is machine learning, deep learning, and natural language processing. So apart from these three, there are some more important areas which we'll be discussing today. These are called as sub areas of AI. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, so as I said, the first important area with respect to your deep learning is neural networks. So neural networks comes under your deep learning methods. So you need to understand, because you are going to design an artificial product, it should have some thinking power. It should have a knowledge to solve the issues. It should have an idea about what things can be done. You need to understand how fast communication can be done. So for example, in our brain, like, there are neurons, right? So that is the communication media with respect to our body and neuron. So somebody asks me a question, what is your name? I will answer within span of time, because it's already embedded in my brain. So in the same manner, whenever you're going to train a machine, you need to look into the, it's not only that we will be getting the answer what it is giving should be effective, it should be exact, and it should be fast. So how a neuron communicates in our brain, in the same manner your algorithm need to concentrate, and it should give the answer in a faster manner. That's the actual need of the her, right? So the some examples of neural networks with respect to AI are brain modeling. So this will be used as part of your healthcare sectors. Some time series prediction for stock market analysis. So stock market is one important area where shares will be moving on every hour and every time. So you need to have some predictions. So in stock market, time series predictions, neural networks is one important area. That is how an interlink is being available between different companies and different shares. And next, as part of data mining, classification, how something can be classified. If I say, if I give a input, a small video to my algorithm, which is a group of class, it should be able to divide boys and girls separately. Like, I want a count, how many boys and girls are there in a class. It should try to identify the features and gives me the exact count. So that's how you can classify things. So these are the parts, things which will be a part of your neural networks. So neural networks from deep learning is one important area which we need to concentrate in the upcoming years. Yeah. So evolutionary computations, as I said, uh, as we have moved from one stage to other, and finally what we are, the upcoming stage will be a robots, where a lot of the stuff whatever you're going to do with respect to human beings, it will be done by robots. Mostly everybody has now are now seeing the enhancements whatever happening in the world. There are a lot of innovations happening with respect to artificial intelligence. So especially in the area of robots, artificial drones for warfare is one important application for army to save life of humans. Okay. So if you want to develop such type of things, you need to evolve from one place to other, like one phase to other phase, right? So for with respect to that, what are the things I need to have? So those all things are very important. So genetic algorithms is again one area which is part of your deep learning. So which we need to learn. You need to understand how genes, how suppose if I say how birth is happening, what are the reproduction elements. So these all mechanisms are evolving from human being. So we are just imparting some knowledge from the human beings part of us, and we are trying to give it to a machine. So genetic algorithms is one area of deep learning which we need to concentrate in the upcoming years. So there you will be having a lot of algorithms which we need to learn, like artificial neural networks, ant colony optimization. So there are different algorithms which we need to learn. Okay, again, genetic algorithms is part of your deep learning. Okay. Next, computer vision is one important area. As I said, in computer vision, everything happens with respect to movements. So if you have seen a lot of videos with respect to AI, you can see playing robots. So basically robots are trained such that we can also make some, instead of coach it will try to train us, right? So this is what is happening. So object recognition, image understanding, image processing, all these areas are part of your AI. So for this you need to have knowledge of computer vision, which is one important area. Okay, next important area is robotics. So this is where actually artificial intelligence is playing a major role. So robots are the artificial agents which behave like human, and it will try to, yeah, so it will try to build knowledge with respect to human beings. So it can be a small work like, if I say a robot to uh, bring me some object, it will try to do that. If I say my mobile is on in another room, please get me a mobile, it will try to do that. So not only from that, it's automatically like delivering some products to an appropriate area. So all these things are some important areas which AI is concentrating with respect to robots. So it's not only that I'm a CSE student and I should not know about robots and robotics. So definitely in the upcoming years, it is a multidisciplinary job which we need to work with. So we need to work with a mechanical engineer if you want to build an automatical self-driving car. So a mechanical engineer needs a CSE guy, right? So if you want to automate things, idea will be given by mechanical engineers with respect to car, and we need to program that. The same manner, electrical engineering is one area where we need to have our understanding between them. So in the upcoming years, because of the IoT innovations, Internet of Things, ECE and CSE is not a different area. So we need to, it's a multidisciplinary area where we need to work with all those people, and we need to add our intelligence to them. Then only things will be happening, and that will be easy for us to invent things. Okay. Yeah. So you can see a small picture here, a robot cleaning a room. So as per the instructions given to that, it will only automatically does the things without any problems. It's not only one thing, it's a small example where you can use robots in a number of ways. So this determines what, when, and how a robot does something. And here comes the role of computer science. So the robot design will be made by an EC guy definitely, but the knowledge will be given to them by a CSE guy. So that's how we need to interlink things, and we need to work for the future. Yeah, so expert systems, as I said in the first introductory part, you will be learning about expert system in the unit 3. Expert system, it's like something like a human intelligence is added to a machine. So here you can see a small picture here. A knowledge from an expert is given to a knowledge base. So this example is something like a chatbot, right? So a knowledge will be given to the machine, and machine will be made ready with all the initial requirements, and the engine will be framed, and you'll be having a UI where a normal end user without any knowledge will be trying to contact the machine, and he will try to get some advices, suggestions, or answers. So this is what is the understanding of expert systems. So how a knowledge should be given to a system, how an engine will be built, and at least a product will be built, and how you need to interact an AI with respect to some machine. So this is what we need to understand with respect to expert systems. Sorry. And next, speech recognition. We have been discussing about this since two classes. Like uh, what do you call, Google Assistant is one application. Apple Siri automatically understand recognizing the voice, speech recognition, and making our search easy. Okay. Amazon Alexa is one important. So automatically switching on and off lights with the commands. This is what is called automation. So it is again dependent on voice, actions also. Suppose if I just clap my hands, fans will be switched on and off. This is what is done by Alexa, right? So this is how we are going to train some algorithms, and in the upcoming years we are going to run all these as part of our projects. So as I said, one important area is natural language processing, where you will be understanding sentiment analysis. It can be Twitter, tweets recognition, analysis, sentiment, like sentiment good and bad. Suppose if I say, you can see a lot of summaries like reviews are available right now. Suppose if I watch a movie, if I want to give my opinion, I'll just write a review, and review will be considered as the opinion for next people. In the same manner, NLP does you the same task. It will try to make your works easy. If I say there is a lot of stuff, a lot of content available, and if I want to summarize things like headlines of a news. Suppose everybody of us will not try to read the complete news. We only read the headlines and we will try to understand things. The same manner, NLP does the same things. It will try to make you understand things very easily. So NLP is one important area we need to understand things properly for the upcoming years. So this is where we are going to interact with the system as part of our understanding. So it can be topics and segmentation, classification, summarization. Everything comes under this area. Yeah. So concluding here with areas of AI. So we can call there are 6 branches of AI. So here again, machine learning is one important phase. Neural networks and fuzzy logics comes under deep learning. These two are part of your deep learning. So expert systems is one area where we'll understand how we can add some knowledge to the machine. So robotics, as discussed, plays a very important role in the upcoming years. It can be a warfare, it can be saving some people from floods, whatever it is. So a robot plays some important role in the upcoming years. So NLP, for a CSE student, NLP is one important area where you're having lot of innovations which you can do to summarize your elements. So because nowadays nobody is trying to spend a lot of time with reading and all those things, right? So whatever the background task happening in your social media, so there will be lot of comments, lot of stuff happening in social media. So there should be some mechanism which can automate things. So people like Facebook, Instagram, and all these people will try to take your comments, and they will try to report some things which are not good. They'll try to stop lot of unnecessary content, right? These all things happens because of your natural language processing. Okay. Yeah, so hope now we are done with this about what are the different areas which we need to learn as part of your AI. So these are called as sub areas of your AI. Okay. Yeah. So moving on for the next topic, applications of your AI. This will be the final topic for today's session. So yeah, you can see a picture with lot of applications around in our real life. So gaming is one important area. So most of you will be playing a number of games, PUBG and all your games, whatever the stuff is happening. So there are a lot of graphics which you can see. So all those things require your AI knowledge. One second. Yeah, so astronomy, for satellite predictions, for numerology, everywhere you can see a lot of things, right? Cybersecurity, finance, social media, robotics, entertainment, social, e-commerce facilities, whatnot. Everywhere you can apply your knowledge of your AI. Okay, so you can see some social media applications, Facebook, LinkedIn, automatically recommending you your connections, recommending you some jobs in LinkedIn. All these things are part of your AI. So LinkedIn uses natural language processing to understand your areas. Like if you are building a profile in LinkedIn, it will try to recommend you the same jobs which suits your profile. So how this is happening? So this is happening because of the NLP, the natural language processing techniques, whatever they have kept in their algorithms. Yeah. So AI can be used in wide applications in agriculture, with respect to farming. What are the advancements we can do in farming, in e-commerce? As I said, satellites, CC cameras. It's trying to for traffic, especially traffic. You can see there are a lot of sensors and cameras now available, which are trying to automatically capture over speed vehicles, and they are trying to give some fines. So this is all happening because of the surveillance cameras, which are advanced cameras. So this is all about your IoT. So interlinking of a number of things. Okay. Yeah. So finally, how social artificial intelligence can be used as part of your digital marketing. So starting from advertisements, So you can see every blog, website, YouTube, social media, wherever you see, you'll be having lot of advertisements. So these all advertisements are like whatever the interest, whatever the searches you are going to do, advertisement will be in the same manner. So it can be analysis of predictions, voice recognitions, email marketings. So there are a lot of stuff with respect to digital marketing, with respect to web designing. So there are a lot of applications of AI in every area. So we are just discussing about the brief insights of what are the applications. But once we look into dive into this one, there is a lot of things we need to understand. So as a computer science student, we need to put our soul to understand this type of things. It's not only like if I simply know what is AI or what are the applications, it's not done. You need to just enter into this world of AI and you need to learn a lot of things. So yeah, that's it for today, guys. So this is what